Hey my lovelies, and welcome back to Beck Square Gaming. I am Scottish Bex and it's time to do more Ship Graveyard Simulator 2. Let's go. So we are working our way through the Steamships DLC. We have just done the Zeppelin and now we're going on to the Titan, I believe, which should be the last in this one, I think. Alright. Let's see. So, we just finished, all the way down. Yeah, we just finished this one. So, we have, after this, we go on to the, I think that's the Fishing Boats DLC. Which was the last DLC to come out. Now, obviously, we have since had the Contrabando and the U-Boat one that have also been put on, but for the moment, this is the last of this. So this is British transatlantic liner of the Olympic type, owned by the White Star Line Shipping Company, built at the Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast. Contracts-wise, we've got what? 3, 1, so 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 5, 6, and then, so 12, 13, right about. And then your resources are even more than the last one. I am dreading whether my computer is going to handle this, but I'm assuming, does anybody know, I'm presuming the Titan is, because it's a transatlantic ocean Olympic type and the White Star, I'm presuming this is a sister ship to what the Titanic would have been. But, let's just go. Well, it loaded fairly okay. It doesn't seem to be as glitchy as it always is, so maybe there was just something weird going on with my PC last time. Obviously, I haven't switched the graphics back yet. See how this goes. Oh, look at that. Let's not. I don't know if we're going to handle it. That is a beaut. Look at her. Look at her. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. It's massive, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's have a look. Yeah. I'm presuming that's meant to be a joke of where the iceberg are. I know that it's not hard that the iceberg hit, but you know what I mean. Okay. Can we... How do we... I like to get a shot of the full thing. That's... Yeah. That's probably the closest I'm getting. She's a beaut. She is. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't think you can get a... Telephone pole's a bad spot. That is a beauty. There you go. Oh, we can do this. We can do this. We've done this before. We can do this. Well, not done this one before, but done big ships before. We can do this. This is doable. Positive thinking. Power of positive thinking. Let's go. No idea what my battle plan is. We'll find out. Ooh, look at this. See, now this instantly gives me good vibes. Kind of like, yeah. Liking this already. This is interesting. This so far, this looks good. This could very quick. I think this has vibes of potentially being one of my favorites. It's hard to explain why. Like sometimes just as soon as you see certain things that they feel right, and this just looks good, and it feels like this is in my head what I had in my mind when we're talking about like looking at historical type ships to dismantle. Yes, it's not one of the galleys or anything, but this kind of just has that vibe. I'm kind of like, yeah.
Hello.
I presume we can't take them down. I think I've seen those before. I think these are just part of the... Oh no! They're not. Was there one of the ships we dismantled where they were just part of the site? Of the... Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Interesting. I could have swore I remember one of them like that. Was it Was it one of the big container ships? Ah, maybe it was one of the. Maybe it was one of the. I don't know. I don't know. My memory's crap. Bex is like not even taking a breather. She's like, I'm gonna do this, bring it! Oh yeah! Sometimes you just feel it. Aye, Bex, helps you actually, you know, disconnect the thing. Don't be a spud. I think I remember somebody saying there was one that looked like the Titanic or was supposed to be similar to the Titanic in it, and I was kind of excited. Along with the submarines, it was kind of one of the ones I was excited about. So in a sense, this is one of the ones I've been excited about. So that's maybe why I'm kind of going into it with that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, that kind of zest of this is what I've been looking forward to, and I'm really hoping it doesn't disappoint me, because I'm not gonna lie, I think the last two steamships from this DLC, while have been very different, I don't know, I just feel like there's been something lacking on them. There's just not, I don't know how to explain it. It's just everyone's different, and for other people those ones might have been perfect. They might have been like exactly the ships they've been waiting for, but not for me. They were less so for me. So I think everyone's different on what they do enjoy, aren't they? Really. So we've got the white stairs back that were in the what's the word I'm looking for? Cruise ships. Right. Oh, that's gone for a wonder. Well, this bit at the front's semi nope, English is gone. Semi simplistic. It's not, you can see what it is, so I think bringing that to this level is a good way to start. In there. Other than a really big drop. Oh, look! Why not? Okay, let's start. Ooh, hi. I think I cut the one on that side. Yeah, I did. Okay, let's have a look. Interesting. Okay. So what do you think? Some kind of crew quarters, maybe? Or really cheap? Well, hi. Actually, let's take a look through there. I think that's just back to the outside, right? Why have wooden doors and bulk doors? That doesn't quite make sense to me, but... okay. Alright. So what have we got? So we've been through here. Part of this floor is missing. Okay, interesting. Can we sneak around? Oh! Very interesting. Actually put my torch on this time, shall we? I'm thinking this is some part for the crew, maybe. So it's not exactly high quality, is it? But then these ships had, you know, different class levels, didn't they? So, like, where the poor would be versus where the rich would be versus... Hi, you need to come out, Big Crane. Alright. Straight through, straight through, straight through, straight... Woo! Right. Run along and drop this, actually. Let's do that first. So this is where we find out whether it's double pieces, single pieces, or something else. Right, let's release these. Get these away, just in case releasing this roof actually causes these to pop. These are heavy elements. We did buy the upgrade, right, for the crane? Yeah, we did. Look how fast that is. Whoa! Alright. So they're double pieces. That wasn't a double piece, so that's fine. So these little quarter pieces aren't. Whoa! Side release. But interestingly, so the middle, the sort of big pieces are, they're doubles. Which is nice. And so far, so are the half pieces, just the quarter pieces are. And that's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, even if it hadn't have been the half pieces, I'd be okay in the sense of, as long as the majority of them is, doubles, it's just so much faster, so, which is what we really want, isn't it? So, piece released, and then if we can get these pieces, this piece here, we should get this side away as well. Interesting, that. There we go. I was gonna say that didn't release. I'm a bit confused. There we go. Okay. I don't know why I'm randomly just not throwing at the truck. That's... Let's go. Let me over. I don't know why. A couple now I'm just going... No, I know the truck's there. I can see the green light, but I'm going to move sideways, get it nice and blue, and throw it in because, you know, screw going in, you know, the right direction. Does that say the Titanic on the side there? Is that what that actually says? Look. I think it does. Maybe for copyright purposes they weren't allowed to call it the Titanic. Is I don't know. What do we think? Maybe they just had to call it the Titan. Or was the I don't know. Was the Titan its original name and then it later got changed to the Titanic? Not gonna lie, pooped a little bit when that flew at my face. Thing is, you know, right? You know it's not gonna hit you. You know that's not how the game works, and yet you still kind of have a small flinch when it flies at you. Alright. Right. What are we doing? Having a look round, having a look round. Gonna need to pull away from the side so I can actually... Hi! No. Interesting little cupboards. Little cubby hole. Yeah, that's not gonna... It's not gonna fly. Ended tables. I mean, could have been the poor man's section, but I doubt it. I doubt A, they'd be given such a high up space, and second, I don't think they would have put food out for them. Well, they would have obviously, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have put, I don't know. Maybe they did. Don't know anything really about ship travel in that era. So, and you can't take what you've seen in the movies to be accurate because they're movies. Just in case any of you were not aware, movies are not reality. And a lot of the time, not even close. Interesting medical bay. Not my plan. It's in here. Right, this needs to come out, right? Stairs down. Is this back through to the storage area? Random space in the middle. Okay, that's fine. No, Becky. Alright. I have to take some of these sides down anyway because I need to be able to reach the floor to drop it. Not that this is kind of, I think this is deck level anyway, so probably don't need to really go past this for the moment because that's what I tend to do is bring everything back to one level, don't I, and then I go from there. Which I think was where I struggled with the air carrier because technically the deck was the top level, which kind of threw me a little bit, I think. I think that is what happened for me on the last one, is that technically that was the top level, and you know, normally you bring it all back to deck level and then that's how I kind of do it, let's be honest. And I think that's part of what threw me in the last one, is the top level bar a few buildings, a few rooms was, and that was a bit like, oh, which for me was a little confusing because it threw my rhythm off, it threw my pattern out, how I would do these things. Apparently we're saving. that went off on its own. Really? Apparently I've just decided that today I'm not going to throw to the truck. I'm going to throw near the truck, around the truck, and anywhere but the truck. Because who wants to put things where they're supposed to go? Nah. Let's give ourselves more work later. That's more entertaining for myself, you know. Just in case I start falling asleep, you know, I need a wake me up job. Apparently. And I just don't hate myself enough, apparently. That's the problem. Oh, it's an entire room I've missed. Interesting. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Whoa. Okay, interesting space. I didn't quite mean to end up there, but I have done. I'm just trying to bring this all back to this level. So this is the first stage. So I'm taking down this bit. Bring everything back to this level for the moment. That is my plan. And it might seem a bit pointless to you guys, but I think this is what went wrong with me last time. As I didn't stick to my usual routine, my usual plan, and I'm trying to do that this time to hopefully... So I don't dilly-dally as much, so I kind of know what I'm doing. I think the problem happens when I don't have a plan. What happens is I'll start doing one bit and then I'll see something else and I'll move on to that and I'll not finish what I'm doing and then I'll see something else and I'll move on to that and I kind of end up jumping around. Because I end up jumping around, I don't complete bits, and because I don't complete bits it stays feeling like this massive thing to do, which is kind of disheartening and kind of ends up taking me longer because then I'm not efficiently working through things, and then if I'd done it a different way I would have been more efficient and I would have moved through it in a smoother fashion, and you know, a whole list of different things that it then has a knock-on effect to. And I think that I would rather spend an extra minute or two knocking stuff down that's going to keep me or keep my brain flowing over, you know, not knowing what I'm doing and jumping around and then kind of back and forth and then not doing it in kind of pattern or any kind of rhythm, which then means I find I'd taken time to do stuff I didn't need to do. And yeah, because it would have made more sense if I just stuck to what I've been doing. And yeah, it's always the same when you're doing these games. You always find a bit where you think, well, I actually might have been quicker if I just dropped that from underneath to begin with. And you know what? Yeah, that's there's always chances things like that are going to happen, and that's part and parcel of this type of game. But majority of the time, as long as you build a plan and stick to that plan, you're less likely to have issues. Because you're going to see what you're doing, you're going to stay in a pattern and a rhythm, and that's going to work better for you than not. I'm really enjoying this one. I think I've already started to do the battle focus that I do, and I'm like, right, focus, get it done. Come on, people, we've got jobs to do. Pop it. Woo! Here goes the roof. What was left of the roof, anyway. One last section up here now. Ooh, nice. There we go. I've set myself a baseline of where I want to bring everything down to. And that's it. That was the aim. The aim was to, where am I bringing all layers down to start with, and this is going to be the initial point, because there's still like 2, 3, 4 layers under here. So yeah. One of the best things to usually do is get stacks out. So let's do that. Done that with our other ones, haven't we? Usually one of the best things to do is to get these kind of things out first. Obviously in the other ones though, they were like inside, you had to go and cut bits. It was interesting. Not so much these ones, these are just giant tubes welded down. Perfect. Nice. Ooh. Giant tubes, but I'm assuming are secured, yes, and at the bottom somewhere. I wonder what they would have been used storage for. Another biggie coming off the top. I'm going to run back here and pick things up. Because I was going to say, I think there's some stuff back here. And then I'll throw to the car van. Thingy. The thingy my bobber. Ooh. That's a grand staircase. with spicy walls. Nice. Next one away. Let's clear some stuff down here. Oh, interesting. Lifeboats. Not quite my intention. Did that actually hit? No, it didn't. It was the other one that I threw beforehand that hit. It was just sheer coincidence that just after I'd thrown that, there was a dling, and I was like, no. It's one of those moments where you're just your brain's going, no. Yeah, that's about right for me. That's fine. My brain's just yeah. Alright, good to know. Deal with that in a minute. Ooh, look at this. Oh, can I get through that or am I going to get zapped? No, I can go through it, okay. Oh, look at this. That was a pretty real room. Other way I found it, I miscalculated where that was. I don't think I did. Oh, I didn't! You son of a... Okay. Let's finish clearing back here. Oh, and the hailstones came down. They are big. Sorry, it's hailing outside right now, and obviously where I am, and pretty big hailstones. I'm presuming the cat is probably either in the neighbour's house or taking shelter in the greenhouse. Say a greenhouse. It's a giant cat playhouse. I don't actually use it. Left over from prior residence. I just put like some soft stuff for the cat to lie on and things like that out there for her, so that because she's an indoor-outdoor cat. She spends most of her days outside, although in winter she does actually come in a bit more because it's a bit colder. But yeah, that cat is either in here in the neighbour's house or she's outside. So yeah, I like to give her a few safety spaces. Although saying that, there's more often than not I'll find the other neighbourhood cats asleep in there, and you're like, I think it was different when the cat was younger. She defended her territory more, but I think now that she's a bit older, she doesn't tend to put up too much of a fight. So there's one particular white cat that is like her arch nemesis. The two of them hate each other. And I found that in there more than a few times. I've had to chase it out the garden. I tend to prefer sending the dog out to do it because I feel not that the dog will never catch it. Okay, just to be clear, I wouldn't obviously if I thought the dog would catch it. It's not about that. It's about if she thinks, or he or she, whatever the cat is, thinks that the territory is guarded by a dog, it's less likely to want to try claim it. That is my thought process. Now you may disagree with that if you wish, but that is my overall thought process of that. So.
Adnahi.
Right. We've been going for about 45 minutes or so, but that includes obviously loading up the actual ship and things like that. So I'm actually quite happy with what we've achieved in that time. I think we're doing pretty good, or I feel like we're doing pretty good. You know. Taking some roof pieces off. Oh, not. Because there's a piece there that's going to stop it collapsing. Oh. Tried to be smart and get across before it fell, but didn't quite manage it. This is really nice. I really like this. I might not once I get further into it, but for the moment, I really like this one. This is fast becoming a favourite. I really like this one. Right, let's see how we get these out, right? How do we get these? Okay. Oh, look. So are these connectors here? Question is then, is there going to be connectors on the outside as well? It's not the wrong tool, I just can't seem to... Maybe they need to be done from the outside? Shoot. Is there any way out of here? Look, they're in sections. Okay, so there must be connectors on the outside. Right. Right, we'll work our way down to them because I'm not entirely sure how we do that. Okay, so top layer here is all clear. So let's enter and start working our way through the next level. Right, so this... Nothing here, let's drop this. Okay then. So we've got nothing at the front here, that's fine. I like those doors, they're cool. Right, so this is... I don't know, but it had the wheel in it, which... and clocks and stuff, so it would imply it was equivalent of the bridge. Captain's quarters, maybe? Oh, this is neat. I like this. Look at the lights. Alright. And then this goes through to here. So let's go through that moment. And this goes through here. Okay. Oh, right, which is out the other side there. Okay, no Becky. And that brings us, I think that's that little bit accounted for. So what's... How do we account for what's in the middle here? Okay, well, that's one bit of what's in the middle there. There should be a whole chunk here. That's part of it. That's part of it. We've got spicy walls. Oh, there's that on the wall. Right. There's something in the middle there we're not accounting for. Maybe via here? No, that to me feels like there's a bit we're missing. Oh! Okay, so that's what, right, okay. Yeah, that's gonna mess with me, working out spatial analysis a little bit, but that's fine. Okay. Okay. Spicy wool collection is connector, probably down the stairs. Just need to find the heartbeat monitor and we'll be fine. Might knock that down for easy throw. Alright, I think that's going to be down a level still. Right. Go in here. Storage of some kind, electricity rooms, not electricity rooms. Informational rooms of some kind, and that's some kind of quarters. I'm presuming somebody's cabin. Like, first mate or something. Or maybe chief engineer, who knows? I don't know if they had chief engineers in those days. I meant so. Alright, these rooms are cool. Ah. Interesting. Oh, I heard a heartbeat monitor there. Here we go. Some of the spicy balls are disconnected. Is that... I don't think it'll be all the spicy balls. Or maybe. Because the walls were spicy here. They've stopped. So maybe that was the spicy ball. Heartbeat monitor. Okay. Sure how I feel about the pink, but you know, I wasn't staying here, so I suppose it doesn't matter. And staircase. I like the colors, they're nice. Oh, so the staircase is all pieces that come out. Okay, that's interesting. There was a way out over here, wasn't there? Yeah, there you go. Some of the lights work, some of the lights don't. Interesting. The ones that are working you have to knock down. The ones that aren't working you can just pick up. That's interesting. See, this is where they missed a trick with the electricity. They could have had the electricity latched up to certain things, and that if you knock them, yeah, they would drop, but you'd get a shock in the process, and you could add a health bar. It would slowly regain, obviously. But again, I could just be over it. Again, when I say these things, I don't necessarily mean they would have to add these things in to make the game better. I'm saying these are options you could have in the game. Not saying they would make it better or worse. I'm just saying things that you could have had in the game. Think of it more that way. Okay. A lot of lights. I don't know if I'm going to be arsed picking up all the lights. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if they fall into lamp. I don't think they do. We'll find out. Let me go throw this in. We're 65 out of 300. Let me go see if the lights fall into lamp. Let's see. Ooh, they might do. Need to get in here to release these. Wasn't planning dropping everything one layer at a time. I was going to get down a bit and then just drop a whack of them, but obviously heavy elements do need to come out there. That's a kind of a must. The sun's come back out now and it's really toastily coming through the window and it's actually making me quite sleepy. It's like...
Hello, क्या हाल है? मैं जल्द ही वहाँ आऊँगा.
So how does this work? Let's disconnect and see, shall we? Do I need to take this out in specific orders, or is it all one piece, or how is this? Let's have a look. We've got pieces here. Stairs that even says fasten here, maybe? No idea, this is so confusing. And then that's the same, so I think the top bit is slightly different. So I think, okay. So I think we need to release the roof around it. The roof pattern there, that's kind of neat how you've got pieces that come together to fall like a divot. And the roof, I don't know what you call it other than a divot. There's probably a specific roof pattern type name you would call it, but I'm just going to call it a divot. Get that collected. Oh, missed it. Missed it. Another one, my goodness! Alright. How does this work? Does that come out first? Does that need to come out first? And then that. I don't know if the stairs need to go. I don't know how this works. Or if the stairs will collapse if I take that. I don't know. No, the stairs will stay in. Okay, that's fine. That's a bit of a fight to get all of that out. I'm going to have to do that for several... Well, that's at least 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, that's a lot of layers of them. Alright. Sort this side next. Might have done some of it already. A lot of stuff. But this is the exciting part. This is the fun part of this. You know, the going through the layers and seeing what's in it. That is kind of the fun part of this. Right. I think I've searched all of this, right? Okay, that's... I think this layer's kind of done. So let's see the next layer, shall we? Start by clearing around the staircase. I'm going to need a way outside. Nice. Get rid of these walls here for ease. Alright, let's let chaos reign. This could be entertaining. There you go. I've got a lot to pick up from down there now, but I'm okay with that. I wanted to clear a whack. So that's fine. Just to make throwing a bit easier if I come out here. That was where my thought process was, to be honest. It wasn't anything other than that. I'm really liking this one, actually. This is... Yeah, I really like this one. I'm just trying to make throwing to the truck easier. As you do. Alright. Back up the top end. Alright. Where's the stairs? Goodness knows. They're not... Oh, okay, so they're further forward than I thought. That's interesting. Because they were at the back on the last deck, but obviously there's more further forward than this on this deck. That's interesting and good to know at the same time. So let's get through here. So you can step out and go, like, or just, like, decide to not throw to the truck at all. Again. Because apparently throwing to the truck is boring. I'm liking the panels and stuff in this one. It looks really neat. I'm really liking it. Swing back in here. Let's go pick up people's pajama pants, apparently. I don't know how I'd feel on these kind of ships because you don't have any vision, you know, unless you get a room with a, you go up on deck or you've got a room with a cabin, you know, like a porthole. You don't really have any view of the outside world, and that kind of, I'm not massively claustrophobic. I used to crawl through all sorts when I was a kid. It's not an issue, but I think as I get older, I'm more conscious of enclosed spaces. So I think for me, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure how I'd feel about a cruise because of that. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be amazing. I'm just, you know, I don't think my mum could go on one. My mum is really claustrophobic, and I don't think she'd cope with that. I'm surprised she copes with airplanes, to be honest. The trick, though, is, you know, there's different ways of dealing with everything, isn't there? I think the difference with an airplane is you don't need to be moving around. Well, depending on how long you're on the flight, you don't really need to be moving around, do you? So you could take something to knock yourself out and go to sleep and then not worry too much about it. But I suppose you can't really do that on a cruise because the whole point is being on the cruise is being on the cruise. So, yeah. Not sure how that would work. Pick some of this up. I need to check what it looks like on the other side and see whether I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the other side and just drop all of that off. I don't really need access to the thing on this side, but it might. Yeah, it's more about allowing more away. Right, let's set this one running this way. Oh, bye. I missed any of the pieces. Nope, didn't. That's how you know. How do you know? Because it fell. Right. Let's have a look at this back here, shall we? A lounge space. This is me how many of them decided to strip off and just randomly leave their clothes places. I mean, not sure I want to judge what was secretly going on these ships. I mean, people just leaving their clothes randomly in places. I mean, different kind of party. Very different kind of party. Really liking this. I am really, really liking this. Actually, it's probably why I'm going so quiet, because I'm I'm kind of taking it all in and really appreciating it. I'm really liking it. And you think that would make it easier to sort of waffle on, but actually it's like the opposite. Like, I'm kind of really enjoying it, so my brain is just like shutting down into the enjoyment zone and going, yeah. It's weird. You'd think it would be the opposite, but not quite for some reason. I don't know why that is. Anybody know why that is? Like, what would be your... If you're somebody who does that kind of thing for a living, what would be your thought process as to why that's what your brain does? Like, it's like, yes, enjoyable. Oh, there's the cut pieces. Okay. Right, I think... Okay, those are the stairs, which is fine. We're back to here. I don't know if there's anything in there. So that's everything back to here, right? Do need to take the stairs out at some point, but we'll get round to that. What the hell is that? Random... Were elevator shafts? Is it meant to represent the elevator shafts that would have been? I mean, I know they had elevators in those days, but I don't know if they would have had them on vessels like that. I mean, they would have the original, because I mean the oldest. I mean, is it not the 1800s elevators? Was it 1800s elevators were invented? I think they were pulley system things, but they were, yeah, much more. Yeah. I don't know. Don't really know. My brain is going, don't care. You're enjoying this too much. Don't care. Thanks, brain. Really helpful. Brain's like, I've zened out. I don't care. Really, really loving this. This is fantastic. Alright, what's in here? More rooms. Okay, more bedrooms. But that's kind of to be expected on some of these upper floors, is, yeah. Because is it not on most ships, the main passengers are usually above deck? Oh no, above deck. Or water balance and stuff, is it not? I don't know. I might just be making it up as I'm going along. Who knows? Who knows? It's entirely possible. Like little bins. They're quite cool. I'm presuming they're little bins. I don't know if they're little bins. That's what they look like. Like those little... I mean, my grandma had like this little brass bin that she always had. That she used to put the coals in, fire coals in. That's what it makes me think of. Oh no, that was just, I think it was just a bin. I'm thinking of, I think she had a bucket for the fire. I can't remember. Yeah, look, that was when I was growing up, and that was a long time ago. Some of us are pretty freaking ancient, so, you know. Don't judge me too harshly. I'm just old and decrepit, but you know. Let's go, that was a big space, but then I remembered there's those things in the middle, isn't there? That'll be what that was, a big space for one of them. And random rooms with bathtubs. Interesting. Only collecting the bulbs because I think that's one of the requests. Otherwise I'd be like, don't care, the bulbs can stay. What I'm gonna do is that out. I like to take the stairs out when I see them. My goodness, this was a big open space. Presuming this is walls that collapse of lots of rooms together. Right. Who knows? Who knows? I do like it though. I like this. I'm liking this quite a lot, actually. This is immensely nice, this place. Alright, let's knock that down. And that one. There we go. I'm going to take this off here so I can those stairs out. Like an oven in here. My goodness. It was hailstones, like, I don't know what did I say about it, half an hour ago or something, and now it is absolutely glorious sunshine streaming through the windows. Welcome to British weather. Making me sleepy. I even want to go nap. It's the weekend and I do like a good afternoon nap. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, who doesn't like an afternoon nap when the sun is streaming through the windows? I mean, that's the best time to do it because the room is toasty. And it's just, I mean, I know for some people, like, sunshine wakes them up and makes them want to go do stuff. I am the total opposite. Like, I see sunshine and I'm like, I just want to enjoy the heat because I'm always perpetually cold and sunshine brings heat. I'm like, and it just makes me want to go nap. It just makes me want to go enjoy the heat by sleeping. I want to go to sleep. Enjoy the heat. Curl up, and the cat curls up next to you, and the dog curls up next to you, and yeah, it's nice. Definitely do. I mean, I don't nap. I mean, I don't tend to nap on a daily or regular basis. I think because I'm not someone that, like, I don't do that half an hour power nap crap. I don't know how people do it. American Bex can do it, and I'm so proud of her. Like, she just goes, I need to go for a nap, and she'll come back in half an hour and be like, yep, right, I'm good to go. And I'm like, that's not a nap. That's a sneeze of a nap. Like, I go to sleep. I lie down and I'll go to sleep for 3 hours. Like, that's like, I full sleep cycle that crap when I lie down. Like, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people just be like, I'm just going to take half an hour. I'm like, I put my head on that pillow, I am not getting up in half an hour. And if you put an alarm to get me up in half an hour, I am going to slam that alarm against the door. I'm going to be like, nope. Yeah, no, don't do the nap thing. Like, I love a nap, but I can't do the 2-minute nap thing. And I'll tell you what, see if you can, and you wake up completely refreshed after doing it. The level of respect I have for you is massive, because I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know if I just like my bed too much, or I don't know. I don't know. Right. I need to go put this outside. Let's have a look. I think that's me searched this level. So what we need to do is release the stairs on this side. Ooh, what a moment to save. That threw me. Okay. Why can't that come out? Oh, okay. I can fix that. Heat is, it's because the room itself is really warm. It's hit 24 degrees in here. It was 19 about an hour ago, and now it's 24 degrees in here. Which is because I've got French windows and the light is streaming through them. There's some power in that sun today. So yeah, yeah. Drying out the tank. Alright, I don't know what I need to do. Right, so I've dropped this. This floor is done. I don't know what floor is going to be the best to drop it to, but so far we're at this floor here. Still 2 floors up from the deck level, so yeah. I just drop it all to the deck and then drop it down, which might make my computer explode. I just realised the sunlight was hitting my computer, and I've got a glass-fronted computer, so yeah, let's not do that. Let's not have my computer overheat from that. Right, let's go to the next level, shall we? Right. Same as before, let's find ourselves... Oh, hi! Let's find ourselves a way out. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to throw that! So we need to clear off up here, okay. Nice.
Hello.
That little cute. Alright, okay, let's bring down some of these. I need to be able to throw, which means give me an angle. Not quite. Right, what have we got in here? More loungers. And then some kind of seating area with some chairs. Bedroom. Right. Interesting. A bog and a bath. Oh, well. Adjoining rooms. They must have been pretty penny to actually have its own bathroom and... Yes. My goodness. I'm carrying too much, apparently. I'm going to run forward a bit and see if I can find another access point, because I can't quite reach the... Oh, I hit the front of it there. Forward this way. See, that's not going to work because there's a... Yeah. Well, poopies. I wish you had the ability to build in this game, and by that I mean like put planks down so I could put a walk across there. That would be really cool. Right. Let's keep going. That's a dead end. I already checked that. Back here somewhere. That's right, I was back here. Okay. Okay. I finish in here. Was it this one I was doing? And then who knows? Who knows is the quick and honest answer there. Who knows? Done the lamps. I don't need to keep stressing them. So I'm not going to keep stressing over picking up the lights, to be honest. Right. Nice. That one actually went in. That was funny. Right, okay. I'm presuming this is just the back end here. Yeah, so that's just moving on to those rooms. That's fine. Some of these rooms looked like they were quite nice. Very old-fashioned, but I was thinking as in for the time. I mean, again, I know this is not exactly how they would have looked, but you know where I'm going with that. I'm getting stuck. I'm trying to get forward so I can throw this, and then I'm just getting stuck on everything. Alright, let's clear what we can. I've gone forward again. I know I didn't finish the back, but I've come forward because it's getting kind of annoying to not be able to reach. So I figured come forward and clear some of the front, see if I can work out how to get easily back here for throwing boxes. So it's not quite as much of a drama. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to take me long to go pick up all the boxes, but it's not the point. If you can avoid doing it, let's do so. I mean, it shows you the difference between the rooms that have a nice room with, you know, they have like wardrobes and double beds, and they've got other rooms that are just bunk beds with a chair. A single chair. And you're just like, yeah, so either they didn't care about the people who didn't have a lot of money, or they didn't care about their staff. Pick one. You know? Brew, should we say. It's not the size. Like, this room wouldn't bother me as long as I could see out. That would be the thing for me. Like, this room would bother me because I couldn't see out. It's weird. Yeah. If other people would feel the same way. Like, would you be fine as long as you could see, like, out one of the portholes? Or windows or whatever. I think portholes are there as if they're further down, isn't it? Or, oh, I can't remember. Is that if they're round? I don't bloody know. Matter on the shape? Like, would that be classed as a porthole, or would it be classed as window? I don't know if porthole just means window on a ship, or if it's porthole is a particular name for a particular port side is the... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Thoughts? Lovely. Don't ask me why my brain goes to weird and wonderful places like that. It just does. I said this to you the last time, was that my brain just doesn't ever, it's constantly turning, it's constantly, like, I'll see something and go, my brain is constantly on knowledge information quest. It's like I said there, like, it was the last ship, it was like, you know, it's like that moment from Short Circuit. It's like, input, Stephanie, input, and it's like, my brain is like, yeah. I want to ask all those questions. I constantly want to ask those questions. I must drive people crazy, by the way. Like, I know whenever I'm learning anything new, I constantly ask, but why on things. Like, I can't just learn something. I need to know why you do it. Like, it's not just a case of, oh, you do this. Yeah, but why do you do that? The amount of times people will just go, I don't know, we just do. And you're just like, it's not the same as knowing. If you know why you do something, then when it doesn't work, you have a better chance of fixing something. Maybe that comes from the job that I do, where, you know, when I'm working with process flows and all sorts, and I'll be saying to them, well, why do you do it that way? You know, is it the company policy? Does it work better for the customers? Is it this or is it that, the next thing? And I think my brain is permanently in that mode. So anytime I'm learning something, it's like, well, why do we do that? The looks you get sometimes, as if you're just being difficult. I'm not being difficult. It's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking why you do something. I think why you do something is a very logical response. I mean, like, why do you fish? Because we get to eat if we catch a fish. Okay, well, that's why you fish. Presuming that's if that's what you're fishing for. Otherwise, it could be because I find it relaxing. I mean, I need to relax, and I find fishing relaxing. It's you know, yeah. I think why you do something is as important as the fact that you do it. I always think your reasons for doing anything are important. not everyone will agree with that. That's fine. Some people will be like, no, you don't need to know. You don't need to know the reasons why you do something. If you find it enjoyable and you find it relaxing, that's fine. But I'd be like, no, I still think it matters to know why you do things. Because you want to know if it's born out of enjoyment or if it's born out of something that you do out of a habit because of something defensive purpose or part of your past, or just because of the way you were raised, or because your parents, you always saw your parents do it that way. Doesn't mean it's, you know. And that's where a lot of political voting comes from as well. And no, we're not getting into politics, don't worry. All I mean is a lot of younger generation often vote the same way their parents do. Takes a bit to change. Not everyone. Quite a few people have moved away. I mean, I think in more recent generations, moving away from what their parents voted. But yeah, I think it's the tendency of, because your parents did it or because that's what you grew up with, you kind of just tend to do it. So that's an example of that. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Do not worry. But yeah, so I'm using that as an example. But yeah, so a lot of what you can do is because of family, because it's a family thing, or you know, it's not just that. So you might think it's normal. Like, so we grew up, our bolognese always had tons of different vegetables in it. My mum always, and I always just assumed that's the way bolognese is, and it's technically it's not. You know, yes, it does have the odd vegetable in it, but it doesn't have mountains of different vegetables. Now, your argument could be, well, no, if that's how you like to eat it, then that's how you eat it, and it is your bolognese. And you're absolutely right, it is. That is still bolognese, it's still your version of bolognese, it's just not classic bolognese. But yeah, and this is it, isn't it? So you just grow up with thinking things that you think are normal aren't necessarily. And yeah. So the reasons for why you do something, I actually think, explain a lot. I also think it's okay to not necessarily know why you do, unless you're hurting people, to not know why you do something. Like, why, I couldn't tell you why I started a YouTube channel. Don't really know. It was kind of one of those, I wanted to turn my hand at something new, and it you know, I knew it would be a lot of work, but I also thought, I thought it might be enjoyable. It gave me a chance to learn some new skills and started working on, you know, I'm still getting there, but working on learning new softwares, because obviously my job rotates around a lot of software. So learning how to use softwares that were not connected to my job, because, well, the fields that I'm in, or the industries that I work mostly with, don't tend to be in, for example, a field where you would use videos editing software, other than for, say, training videos. And then most of the company sizes I work for wouldn't necessarily make their own, or wouldn't make training videos. They would just make guides and things. So it was good to learn new software, and actually it allowed me to then bring that into my work as well, because at one point, with the company and one of the previous companies I worked for, they wanted to start making training videos for some of the softwares, and they were like, well, how do we do that? How do we do it? Are we just going to use Teams? Are we just going to video, or do we have? And I was like, well, you can, but I've got issues with editing and all these other things, because they wanted to be able to do all sorts with it, you know, instead of just doing it as a presentation that got recorded, actually going a step further so that they could add things in, take things out, and, you know, and then I was able to say, well, you know, I don't know how all of them work, but here's some basics on 2 or 3 pieces of software that I've seen that I think would do the bare minimum that you need, and are either, you know, free or for businesses have a small charge or whatever. And yeah, so I think knowing why does help you on certain things. So well, you might not always know, so I don't know what my full thought behind all of it was, but I think that was sort of my main reasons. And it has, it's been very educational for me, very interesting. And it's taught me a little something about myself as well. Like, I've always thought that thing that put me off doing it for a very long time was I didn't think I'd handle negative comments. Because I can be quite critical of myself. I don't need anybody else to be critical of myself. I can be critical. And I always thought, oh, I don't know how I'll handle that. But I am pretty good at taking, like constructive criticism. I've always been very good at taking. But random rudeness, not so much. And I always thought, I don't know, I'm going to cope with that. And yet, weirdly, there was one or two, we've had one or two unpleasant comments. But the majority of comments have been absolutely lovely. And, we love you guys for that. And, but it's interesting because I always thought I don't know how I was going to take, it's like if someone says something nice to you versus somebody says, like, you could walk through your life in a day and you could have 10 people tell you that the jumper you're wearing really suits you and one person tell you you look fat today. And the comment that's going to sit with you all day is the comment about looking fat, not the fact that 10 people, you'll know that 10 people said that, but, the overwhelming majority are saying positive, meaning it's been positive, but you are more likely, as a human being, to sit with the negative. And I think I'm not a stranger to that phenomenon. So I was not sure as to how I would receive it myself, and I thought, but amazingly, I was pretty good at just kind of going, well, you know what, that person's just a troll, and it's fine, and just kind of ignoring it. And I actually learned something about myself, and I was quite surprised that I was able to do that, because I really didn't think I was. It's what put me off for so long. But I think it's because I prepared myself that it's very easy when you're sitting behind a keyboard to be nippy or judgmental of somebody, because it's very different when you have to do it to their face. And I think for me, I kind of was prepared for the fact that you are going to have Muppets. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about people who have constructive criticism about, oh, I prefer it if you do this, or like one of the viewers had said, I'd prefer it if you break your shit graveyard videos down. Great, that's not a problem for me. I was like, no, that's constructive. It's not even criticism, it's a suggestion. And it was like, yeah, no, that's fine. You're absolutely right. That's something I'd considered. And if that's what you want, excellent, let's look into it, and I think that's the way. It's to see the positives, and I think most people will try to be nice about things, and they're not trying to be negative, they're trying to be supportive, they're just trying to be, because feedback, I think I view it as feedback. I think that's how I take it. If it's somebody who's got genuine feedback, they're going to try say it in a way that isn't offensive. Whereas if someone just insults you, that's not feedback. That's just somebody who's just an arsehole. Just like, you know what I mean? So I think for me, what surprised me was that for myself, I was able to just roll my eyes and go, okay. And like I said, I think that's only been like twice we've had that. And the rest of the time, everyone's been lovely. And but this is it. So I think, I think I surprised myself by that. Surprised, and I think in a sense doing it has challenged me to kind of look at, and it has made me reassess in the sense when people do say things to me in the world outside of YouTube, and they do say things to me that are potentially negative, it has helped me start to see that in a different light, because my part of me is, if you were behind a keyboard and saying it to me, I probably would just go, you're trolling, and ignore it. Whereas when people say it to your face, you're more inclined to get upset about it. And it made me realise that it doesn't mean any different. It's just that, well, I'll give them their dues. If they have the courage to say it to your face, then that's at least better than someone who sits behind a keyboard. But at the same time, there's no need to be mean to anybody. You think I'd take it better, actually. My one of my grandmothers, who I love both my grandmothers, sadly neither are with us anymore, was very much a backhanded compliment kind of woman. So that, the kind of, prime example would be, so maybe if you were somebody who'd had difficulties with your skin or something, she'd be like, your skin is not looking quite as bad as normal. Or, that outfit doesn't make you look quite as fat as you normally do. Instead of saying, you look really good if you lost some weight, it's, you're not looking quite as fat as normal. Thanks. That's really appreciative. And it's kind of funny because with my gran, you just kind of learn to take that. You just kind of learn to take it with a pinch of salt whenever she said anything, because it was the way my gran said stuff. And it was quite funny towards the end, because she had dementia towards the end, and she got really bad with that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff she'd say, you just kind of... and I remember... And in a sense, you become kind of flippant about it. Like, we'd heard it so much. I mean, periodically through our lives, but I think when we were kids, she did it less to us. Or maybe there's the rose-tinted glasses of childhood that you don't really remember it, but obviously as adults, you're kind of old enough to recognise what's being said or what's happening, and you just kind of go, okay, Nanny, love you too. And, and you'd go down that road. And, but I think... yeah, but anyone who's dealt with a loved one who's had dementia knows dementia, unfortunately, not for everyone, but for a large number of people, it brings out your worst qualities. It emphasizes your worst qualities, and my heart goes out to anybody who's currently dealing with that. I've gone through it with 2 grandparents now, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. And watching them sort of fade is heartbreaking. But so anyone, like I say, who's been through it knows that for not everybody, but for a chunk of us, it does bring out your worst characteristics. And unfortunately, it did so with my grandmother. And so that kind of comment got worse as we go older. She got older, and towards the end it was a bit unpleasant at times. But we, in a sense, became more and more immune to it. Like, as a kid, you would maybe get a little bit upset, but as an adult, you just kind of went, okay. And kind of just ignored it, as adults do. As an adult, you knew, like, your brain would be like, well, it's not just the illness, because like we say, she always had a bit of that in her, but it makes it worse. It makes it worse, and we knew that from the beginning that it was emphasizing it, and so we kind of became sort of immune to that. And my gran would say something, and we just go, But we were also aware, though. So as much as we were immune to it and we would take it, we also knew that she could be quite better. And don't get me wrong, I love my gran, so please do not take this as anything other than I absolutely adored my gran. I did absolutely adore my gran. And we went to see her, and she's in the hospital. It was just sort of COVID restrictions had all been lifted, and that kind of thing was ongoing. So you were allowed to go see people, and she'd had COVID, and she had COPD, and she'd had pneumonia. She'd had all these sort of one after another. I mean, how she made it through. She made it through several bouts of that, and walked out the other side. And every time when she went into hospital, we were like, nah, she's not coming back out from that one. And and I remember, so we went to see her in the hospital, and visiting her, and as we were leaving, the nurse the nurse passed us by, and she was like, oh, you here visiting? Because it was, my gran was in sort of like a ward for older people at that point. Not like long-term care, as in short-term care, but still, right? So we were like, oh yeah, we're just visiting our grandma, and we said her name, and she's like, oh yeah, your grandma's lovely. And then I just remember she said something like, oh yeah, she's so lovely, isn't she? And then without missing a beat, my sister, who I was with, turned around and went, like, to me, obviously not to the nurse, went, you talking about our gran? Like, and I was just like, whoa. But it was so funny because it wasn't said in a malicious tone. It was said in a sort of like tongue-in-cheek revenge tease for some of the things she'd said to us in the last, I don't know how many months. And then I don't know if the nurse caught her, because the nurse kind of had a chuckle and wandered off, so I'm presuming the nurse heard her. And it was absolutely beautifully timed. It was the fact that she didn't even miss a beat with it. She didn't even miss a beat at all. And oh, and then the best bit afterwards is I just kind of was like, I just looked at my sister and I was like, you can't say that. And my sister went, maybe she was asleep. Maybe she's been asleep a lot or something like that. And it was so beautiful. It was like, yeah, it was. But that's it. I think I'm going off in tangents all over the place here. But I think I learned. I think I got better in the last few years with a lot of it. For a combination of the channel, working on the YouTube channel, and also the fact that my grandma got so much worse with the way she'd say things to you. And while my gran, I wouldn't say she couldn't help it. I would say the illness, because at the end of the day, if you're a really nice person and you get dementia and all these other things, you're less likely to be abusive. Now, not completely not. I mean, I know it just depends on how you know how it affects you, and I get that. And I'm not going to stand here and say all these things about dementia because everyone is different. And a dementia expert would be able to give you way more information than I can. I can just go on the experience that we had. And this was the experience that we had with this particular gran. And yeah, but this is it. And I think it did help massively with learning to be better at that kind of things. And I mean, I think, and like I say, I think that did surprise me. And I think it did surprise me with how much it helped me grow as a person, both with what was happening with my gran and the channel as such, has given me a thicker skin. And I think that's a good thing. I do think that's a good thing. And I think you know, there's always potential for growth and learning, and I think that's why I was saying I think asking why is important on certain situations, because I think, you know, that's part of the growth process. So while I don't know exactly my why for why I started, I do think it's helped me in so many different ways. Between helping learn knowledge that I didn't have, you know, and you know, it's yeah. Oh, I don't think till the day I die I will forget that hospital trip. That was one of the funniest moments I'd had since the start of COVID. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And just to be very clear, my sister wasn't any short of my grandma. My sister wasn't trying to be mean about my gran in any way. It was meant more as an inside joke to us, because we've spent a lifetime receiving backhanded compliments. So I think that's what you need to remember. Is so for us it was more kind of like the way you poke fun at the family members in the way that only family members can. If someone else had said it, you probably would have punched them. But you know what I mean? The way only family can. But yeah, it's one of those beautiful moments that just, yeah. Now, if there are any viewers who are going through that, like I said, my heart does go out to you. It's a very difficult thing to care. And not just care, even if they are in care and in a care home or in a hospital, it's still a very hard thing. It's you know, and you know, I do know that obviously if they're if they're at your home and you're doing the caring, it's because we did that for my other grand, but and we did it partially for the grand I was talking about, but yeah, it's a lot. So oh, good times. I think that's it, isn't it? You have to see the positive and the negative. Like, it would have been so easy for the two of us to take everything she ever said to heart, and any of the five of us. I'm one of five children. But you know what I mean. And I think girls tend to get it quite bad. Depends on who you are, but and I think it would have been very easy to just kind of let it bother us or let it get to us. But I think you do have to learn to laugh these things off. I do think you have to see the positives and the amusement factor in it. The fact that, you would go in knowing she was going to say something like that to you. And you just steeled yourself for it, and you just would have to say, thanks, Gran, and then just kind of, like look at each other, roll your eyes, and just move through it. Yeah. She was pretty blind towards the end, so she couldn't see the eye rolls. It was fine. Not that just because you can't see it doesn't make it appropriate, but you know what I mean. It's your way of coping. You've got to have your coping strategies when dealing with any of this, I think. And that was our coping strategies. Thing is, right, for all of that, I do miss her. I do miss her. And I miss my other gran as well. All my grandparents have since. She was the last to go, actually. She went a couple of years ago now. I did pretty well to get to the age I got to and still have grandparents kicking. That was... I remember I think I met most of my grandparents, but I don't remember my great-grandparents, but I don't remember them. I've met and remembered 4 of them, my great-grandparents. But I don't remember. I think I met at least 6, I think, but some of them passed when I was really young. That's my great-grandparents. So there would have been 8 of those. And yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember all of them. But I definitely know. I remember my mum telling me which ones I had and hadn't met. So I know I met some of them. I just don't remember them. But the ones I do remember, I remember meeting and remembering 4 out of the 8. And obviously, I've seen pictures of the others and stuff, and knew what their nicknames and stuff were. Because my older brothers, siblings, because I'm one of the younger ones, I'm the 4th child. So my older siblings would remember, but I don't have as many memories of them. But interestingly, one of my great-grandparents shared my birthday, as does one of my nieces. So 3 generations of the family shared the same birthday. So myself, my niece, and my great-grandfather all had the same birthday. Obviously different year, but same day and month. Which is always nice. It's always nice to have something like that you can share with a family member. Yeah, see, my brain's now thinking about my grandma. Amazing how your brain wanders. See, my brain wanders when I'm doing these things, and then I go to a million different places. Like, so I'd started going on about when you do stuff and why it's important to know why you do stuff, which then led on to why I started the YouTube channel, which then led on to the things I've learned from the YouTube channel. I don't tend to plan conversations that I intend to have when I start. I probably should for safety's sake, but I don't. I just kind of go with the flow. I probably shouldn't, because that's that in that way madness lies. As we just found out. But no, I just tend to go with the flow and see where, because I think it feels more natural if I know. I think if you sit, I mean, you can have ideas of things you want to talk about, like something might have happened recently, you know, like in the gaming world or something. Like, you know, for example, the Fun Pimps have, I think they're, I don't know if they've sold 7 Days to Die or if the company's been bought over. I haven't read it yet, but I've seen that 7 Days to Die is, yeah. There was a big thing about it. I haven't read much about it, and I'd be like, so what's your thoughts on that? And obviously I haven't really read it, so I can't really comment on it. But, you know, like, you know, you might have a set thing you might want to think about and ask about. But in general, I don't tend to plan what I'm going to talk about. I just tend to let my brain wander in several because I tend to find, for me, that's when I tend to be more genuine. More genuinely me, like more genuine and true to who I am. And I think I like that when doing stuff. I don't want to put on a persona to do this. I'm not Scottish Bex as me. You know, that's who I am. I'm not putting on a persona for the channel. I might watch my tongue. Not always, as we've seen from the fact that there's a few times I've had to bleep a load of stuff out of games, and I might avoid certain topics that if I was, say, with family or friends, I might talk about more because that's not what this channel is about. This channel is a gaming channel in terms of playing games, having fun, being entertained. So yes, I am more likely to avoid obvious things like, you know, politics. I don't really want to walk down the politics argument discussion. Not interested in doing it on this channel. Yeah. And not because I'm ashamed or embarrassed of my political beliefs or anything like that, but just because it's not what this channel's about. Obviously, if I ever felt that my way of life was threatened or any of those things, then yes, I would maybe discuss things, but yeah, I avoid those kind of topics because that's not what it's about. But I do feel that in general, if you plan, I'm not being as natural with who I am, and I kind of want to be as natural with who I am as possible. So hence why I don't really plan what I want to talk about. Yeah, that ends up with me waffling. It does end up with me waffling, and you know, that might be annoying to some people. And you know what? If it is, maybe not the channel for you. I do apologize. I'm not going to apologize or change who I am. I'm never gonna be like that. So, I'm never gonna put on a persona. I'm never going to, yeah. And if I do feel very strongly about things and the questions are raised, I will stand by my beliefs and that kind of thing. But in general, it's not, yeah. I'm here to have fun and have games, and for me, when I say have fun, the chatting is part of the fun for me. The rambling is part of the fun for me. Apologies if it's not what entertains you. If you're like, I don't really want to listen to you talk about random crap. I want to see you fall off a building. Haha, that's funny. Do you know what? There's tons of channels that do that. Go do that. Go watch them. That's fine. There's plenty of channels that do stupid stuff and put on stupid personas. And you know what? I watch some of those channels, so I'm not judging them in any way. So maybe to say they're stupid is unfair. I don't mean stupid as in silly. Maybe silly being the better term, not stupid. Silly. Let's go with silly, because they're not really stupid. I mean, it's entertainment for entertainment's purposes. And that's not silly. That's not stupid, sorry. That's silly, because they're not stupid. Some of these people are very, very intelligent and know exactly what they're doing for their audience. But I mean, when we do something really, really madness, it's like, we're kind of like, wasn't quite intended. Yeah, that's yes. But I think, it's just, yeah. I like being me. I don't have a problem with, you know. And this is some of the fun stuff that I do. I mean, I think again, I can understand why people have said to me in the past, oh, you'd be better with a podcast where you can just talk to people. And I get that. But again, with a podcast, you kind of have to pick a topic and plan it and stick to it. And maybe one day, but it's not really. What I like about this as well is that I get to natter off. I keep going. And then you guys might respond and say, oh, well, I never seen that before, or I never thought about it that way, or no, have you thought about this? And then it gets to challenge the way I think, and I kind of like that, because I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's something to learn. It's always good to learn, or so it's always nice to share knowledge and talk about things. I think that's it's a good thing about life. It's one of the best things about being human is our ability to share knowledge and understanding, and not just that, our ability to connect, like to be able to think. There's so many times I've watched like some of the big channels and people will be like, I love these channels, and I can't get into them. I just can't. I'm like, it's not, don't get me wrong, they're good channels, and I can see why people like them, but for me, it just doesn't tick the boxes for me. The channels that I like, and I just think, it's yeah. I like a lot of feel-good channels. I like a lot of, like I said, things like, I think I said this in the last video, like flawless cleaning, and five cleaning and things like that, where they're going around and helping people. I like a lot of those ones because, if I want to feel entertained in terms of a game, but if I want to, there's other parts to life, and I think when I'm sitting watching, and I'll watch a movie or I'll watch this, but if I want to relax with YouTube, I want to relax with something that feels nice, and I think I like to see that side of the world, I think, for me. But other people are different. I do watch some gamers. I watch a few. I don't watch loads of them. I've watched more and then stopped watching, not necessarily unsubscribed, but just don't tend to watch their content as much. I really should go through and have a purge, but that way I think it doesn't do any harm to leave them with a subscribe. Although in saying that, you're not watching their views, they're not helping them, but yeah. There's a lot of sort of, like there's very few that I'll usually watch, and I don't always rush to watch them, but I will. I think for me, part of it is I don't want to watch somebody do a playthrough of a game that I'm potentially going to play. And that was even before I started the channel. That was, that's always been a thing that I don't want to spoil a game for myself. And that was the same even before I started. And it's now even more important because I don't want to know what's coming in a game, because I think a lot of the time you can tell when there's been a fake surprise and you're just like, yeah, you didn't at all walk through that, play it, fail it, reload it, I mean, when we do something like that, we make a joke of it. We'll be like, oh, we've never done this before, haha, and the two of us will laugh and joke about it, and it's intentional so that you do know that we messed something up and had to sort something or whatever. We do that intentionally so you know that we're not, I just don't think there's any need to be perfect. I mean, you make mistakes. We all make mistakes while playing games. That's how you learn. I think that's part of my problem why I don't like watching. There's a lot of gamers are elitist about when they play, and I feel like it's very clear that they've either played it before or they're cutting out, it takes you 20 minutes to do that, and they cut out the majority of it and they've gone round, and that's fine. Like if I've gone round and round and round, I'll tend to put, I'll put on the screen, 20 minutes later. Not always, but the majority of the time. Or it's a game that's timed so you can see in the top that I've jumped. I'm trying to think what's an example of that one. chained together is a prime example of that. So there was one bit right at the end of the last chained together video that we were doing the rotating boxes, and it took us forever to get across that bit. And we were getting really, really frustrated. So I cut a chunk of it out because you could hear in our voice how frustrated we were, and that's not as much fun to watch, is it really? Not really. So, because your emotion that you're feeling often feeds into the people who are watching it. So, I didn't want, but at the same time, because it's a timed game with the timer on the corner, you can see it jump. So you know it took us 20 minutes or whatever it was to get past that section. Because you can see the timer in the corner. I don't know when we're going to get more chained together up, actually. Obviously, it requires... I mean, it's hard enough getting me and Bex together at one time, let alone getting me, Bex, and Diane together at the same time. But we will try, organise, to get everyone together as best as we can, so we can continue it. Taking me a while, so I'm at about 2 hours and 20 minutes or so, which I think's not bad, because while we haven't dropped these floors, we've cleared the majority of these floors, and I think that's going to be a big help further down the line. I'm just trying to... I'm really loving this one. This one is great. This is probably up there with one of my favorites. Now, that's currently... because I'm only on the top levels. Once we go further down, I might not still feel the same way. So doesn't mean just because it's up there that it's going to remain. Oh, sorry guys, that was a yawn. That it's going to remain up there, but we will find out. One more floor to go. After this one. Then we'll drop all down. Yeah, look, it's a nice big dining room in there. Hopefully that means it's going to be easier for... Gonna have less walls to take down with any luck. Amy the bog, thank you. I got tired of running back and forth from the... Like, yeah, no, I'm done. Like, I can't be arsed running back and forth anymore now. I'm just like, yeah, no. I know, princess. I know. What time are we at? Oh, is it that time? Okay, well, let me finish what I'm doing here. And then I'll sort you. Come on, down. It's close to puppy feeding time. But, Mama, I know it's food time. You don't get to get away with that. Thanks. I can't believe she's 8 this year. How did my baby girl get to 8? Like... No. Oh, she's not as old as that. She's still a puppy. She's still a puppy. I need to sort out what's in between with the big spaces as well and get those first layer of those big pipe things out. That would be of use, wouldn't it? I do like to natter as I go through the clear space, so you can see the rooms and what I'm clearing. It's not just a case of I'm talking because I love the sound of my own voice. Although, you know, to be fair, I mean, But no, I natter through these bits and cut the cutting down bits, because to me, you know, seeing what's in the space it's an interesting bit. It's an interesting part. So getting the feel for the layout of the ship, I think, is quite interesting. What's down there? Smaller rooms, okay. I knew there was rooms that I hadn't checked in between because I hadn't accounted for all the space, so I knew there was something like that going on. I'm not stressing about the lights anymore. I don't need to stress about the lights. I'll get them at the end when they fall down with everything. Okay, right, so we took away the stairs up above. Do I need to take this bit? Okay, or is it going to be the next level down? Let's find out. The next cut point. No, it's the next section down for the next cut point. That's fine. Right, so we've done the one up here. So what about... So we did that one, right? There's two of them, right? So there should be another one here. There you go. Right, my way to the bit I need to go to. Yes. Such a fight to get to these, isn't it? It's like... Whew. I need to go to the other side, right? Through. And here, I think. There you go. Alright, I think that's the majority of this level done. I think we've got the next level. Well, no, this one was done. I just came up to finish the thing. And then we've got the next level down, which we just about... I think it's just about done, to be honest. Alright, okay. There you go. There's not set stairs there. That's fine. So the next one is the next level. And then I can take a break for a bit because my butt's gone numb. I've been going for 2.5 hours. And this is a nice spot to leave this, guys, after clearing those floors. Hopefully next time we will go on and get some more cleared and some of those floors dropped. And we're going to leave this part here. Hopefully you're enjoying. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy all.